The privacy landscape is ever evolving. Just in 2026, we've had some additional US state privacy laws come out. Hello and welcome back to Privacy Professional Training. My name is Fumi Owolabi. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the certification that I chose to take for 2026 and how I've been studying for it since January. If you are new here, I own Privacy Professional Training. The reason I started this organization is to help students with passing their privacy certifications. I myself have taken 6 certifications. This will be the 7th certification that I'm taking. And my plan is to continue to take privacy certifications throughout my career because I find value in them. If you're interested in why I find value in continuing to take privacy certifications, even though I'm already a practitioner, you can take a look at the video that I did earlier in March. But the exam that I'm going to be taking in 2026 is the CIPT exam. It is offered by the IAPP, which is the International Association of Privacy Professionals. Now, in terms of resources, I will leave a list and description of resources that I personally am using currently. One of the first ones is IAPP does recommend an official IAPP textbook, so I've purchased that. And in terms of how I have that book, it's a digital copy. I usually study on my iPad. And then I also purchased some questions off of Amazon. So I talked about in other videos how I do obtain additional resources outside of what is offered by the IAPP, because when I study for tests, it's really important for me to truly understand the material. I generally will spend 2 to 3 months on every certification, which is what I am also doing for the CIPT exam. And by the time you're watching this, I would have already passed the test because I have been doing videos and those will come out shortly. Every single week in January, when I was studying for the test, I would record myself to show you guys what my process looks like. Because when I started Privacy Professional Training in 2025, I'd already done a bunch of certifications, so it wasn't possible for students to see the thought process that I go through when I'm studying for the tests over and over. So what I did was I recorded some of my study sessions from January and February to let you guys see exactly what it is that I look at when I'm studying for an exam. And then also I will leave in the description all of the resources that I personally used. I'm quite familiar with the IAPP exams. This is probably the 4th or 5th privacy certification I've taken with IAPP. It's really valuable for me to continue to take privacy certifications to ensure that my knowledge in this space is current and up to date, and also to be able to give me the opportunity to provide good advisory to clients on what has changed from a privacy perspective year to year. Because as you know, especially in the United States, the privacy landscape is ever evolving. Just in 2026, we've had some additional US state privacy laws come out. So those influence how an organization, rolls out its own privacy program. The exam that I took is a CIPT. It is 90 questions. And then I broke down my method of attack, and you'll see these in the videos, is I looked at areas that were not brand new to me, but aren't areas of privacy that I traditionally touch on, such as the technology side. There is a lot of information from a technical perspective. A lot of the work that I do, and for anybody that's new here, I am a lawyer, so I'm used to giving advice on how products can be rolled out and the direction that organizations should take when improving their privacy program. I don't deal so much with the building of the tools outside of looking at technical specification and providing a legal lens to how privacy is rolled out for new or existing products. So the CIPT exam does look at things like a cybersecurity perspective. You've got to look at things like encryption. That's really important. From a privacy perspective, you can see if you're already a privacy professional, you know about something called the technical and organizational security measures. My personal experience is that this deals a lot with those technical measures and the importance of them. And there is definitely an overlap between the cybersecurity knowledge and privacy knowledge for this particular test. Other privacy exams that I've taken haven't dealt so much on the security aspect. They've really looked almost exclusively at the law. I also think that with the CIPT, the value is because a lot of organizations, especially with artificial intelligence, there's additional knowledge that us as privacy pros need to know about how products work from a technical perspective, because a lot of our conversations are with the engineering team, with the information technology team, with the cybersecurity team. There's a lot of insight that we need to know about how products work. And with the sophistication of artificial intelligence, It's really important for us privacy pros to understand the products almost in a synonymous way to the engineers, because how else are we going to be able to identify different personal data identifiers without understanding what the process flow is, where it's being stored, the responsible parties associated with processing the personal data, and whether an identifier could constitute personal data. So it doesn't just go into your knowledge as a privacy professional, what is personal data, what is, data minimization. Outside of that, you need to be able to understand how the product works, the types of identifiers that the engineers are going to be collecting and or distributing to a third party. And I think that that's why I picked the CIPT exam this year. I also have taken a number of the IAPP exams. So I'm able to rely on the process that I followed in the past to then go ahead and pass this certification too. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I have created a mini series demonstrating how I studied for the exams in January and February. It did take me about 2 to 3 months. I'm planning to do a full-length video going into depth on, how the resources helped me, timelines, timeframes, how I was able to study alongside my practice.